Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television. This wonderful morning we'll be taking you on a journey in the world of sport from the local front to the European scene. I will be discussing majorly on the CAF Champions League where our very own Remo Stars are making a big showdown against Mamelodi Sundowns, and also Rivers United will be going away to face the Black Bulls. Also, we'll be looking at Morocco getting a ticket the first time right there in Chile under 20 World Cup against Argentina. All this and more on the show. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I have the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun, who ran off yesterday because the Super Eagles of Nigeria picked up a ticket to the playoff, and also see a chance how they can get the major ticket right there at the World Cup 2026. It's back on the show. I'm not going to bore him with the story of the Super Eagles this wonderful morning, but I have Fola, Nigeria's first patriotic woman to support the Super Eagles true and true right here. Good morning to you, Samson Balogun. You're welcome back to the show.
Well, good
you are
morning
welcome back to the show.
Let me welcome you back to the
really
show.
Nice to be back on the show.
Welcome back.
And let me correct a narrative. The Super Eagles of Nigeria they entered the chances of Benin Republic of automatic qualification for the World Cup, only to settle for a playoff slot, which they are not even sure of. So it's more or less like it's leaving the seen for the unseen. But then the time will tell. There's nothing time does not reveal. You just
Always
have to wait.
But
I can tell you,
he has political terms when it comes to Nigeria. He has now hold on something. So quick on something. Do you believe in stories of struggle and success? Do you believe in stories of struggle and success?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now Super Eagles of Nigeria are already at a major struggle when it comes to getting the World Cup ticket. What if they put their hands on the World Cup?
They have always struggled, and when
They've
they
always, they've always struggled. That statement.
They'll still struggle. The fact that you see, it's not a long process. It's like starting the qualifier over again. And we saw what they are capable of doing during that period. One, the inconsistency in the coaching crew actually affected the way things panned out. The wrong choice of players at the point two also affected. The zeal of the players also had a role to play in where they are now. But ultimately, when they go into the playoff, they're still going to repeat this episode, which you are still going to watch again. So the chances of qualifying for the World Cup is so slim. It's just about 5% of 100.
I agree with you. We're still going to discuss about.
Why did you have to say 5%? No, I don't agree with 5%.
5%. But we'll be back, when next month to start discussing about the preparation of the Super Eagles, and more of this will be coming up on the show. Concerning the camp of the Super Eagles. Fola, good morning to you. How are you feeling this wonderful morning?
I'm very excited, and I'm happy that you ran away yesterday because I could speak my mind and tell everybody that there's still hope for Nigeria.
I like that.
There's still hope for Nigeria.
I like Fola's belief, actually. Trust me. Guys, let's take stories from the local front. This wonderful morning is coming from the camp of Kwara United, as they have been hit with injury crisis. The football MPFF marked the 9th fixture against Castina with as many as 5 key players set to miss the game. The sideline players include Aliyu, Asalaudin, Mohamed Allahu, Mubarak, Saeed, Abarwa, Kingsley, and Messi Yebi. According to the club medical team, Allahu and Saeed are currently down with malaria, while Salaudin is nursing an injury. Kingsley and Inyabayi are also recovering from undisclosed knocks. The Harmony boys will host Castina United this weekend at Rashidi Yekini Stadium in Ilorin as they look to build up the impressive 1-1 draw against the Wiki Tourists last Sunday as a result that lifted them to 14th place on the MPFL log with 9 points. Something that you have at Kwara United it's with injury crisis ahead of their big game in March the 9th. How do you see this one for the team going forward when it comes to March the 9th fixture?
I don't think a team in the MPFL right now should be talking about injury crisis, and I'll tell you why. I'm usually not the one that will talk about this, but if you sign 22 players plus, the ones you have in the team, when 5 players are missing, you should have, players who can actually step in and do what you expect them to do. So there are options. This is the only place where you have about 40 players in the same squad. And once you have those number of players, it means that you were preparing for times like this. So why come to the papers and tell us, oh, we are missing 5 players? These are just 5 players of 40. So just pick from the remaining set of players, and then let's see what you are capable of doing. I mean, for every sane club, for every position, that you usually have 2 players, quality players. You have a right back, you have another backup right back who will come in. Look at Shooting Stars, I think last season, 2 seasons ago, you have Gali Falke at right back. But then there's a certain Morita Lataye, who's also explosive, used to be with I think Lobby Stars or Warri Wolves before he came to Shooting Stars. So in that area, they are secured. At left back, you had Utin, and then you had, I want to remember his name, Chukudi or whatever, I want to remember. Very good with crosses. Defensively, might not be that, sharp, but then when it comes to supporting the team in attack, is really superb. And then Utin is there, fantastic player. And then at the back line, you have Desmond, you have Bolagade Adelowo, you have Adeleye. These are quality players. So for every position, there should be at least 2 players capable of, pulling things off.
But hold on, Samson. European football, we get a report from the camp of Manchester United that players are sidelined already. Are you saying it's wrong for Akwa United medical team or the media to come out to say we have 5 players sidelined with injury? That's my question.
You see, yes, when Manchester United comes out to tell you, oh, we have 5 players who are injured, that still doesn't mean when it comes to the next week, they are going to start the game with 5, 6 or 7 players. Yes, they are still going to start with 11 players. Yeah. So someone must fill that position.
I agree.
And that still doesn't mean they are not going to win the game.
True.
Right?
So now, I want to go back to your point. Okay. Earlier said, you don't want to talk about things like this when it comes to Nigerian football. I need to answer my question. Are they wrong to come out to say we have 5 players injured?
Now let me break it down.
Okay.
What you are not getting. You see, in the so-called senior clubs, or let me say foreign leagues, when a team comes out to tell you, oh, we have 5 players injured, it is for information purpose. Okay. They want to tell you why these players will not be on the field. They are not giving you an excuse to lose a game. But here, they are already giving you an excuse for failure. So it's because these players are not around. So for Chelsea, there were times they had their ups and downs. Some players were injured, but they kept on going. Look at towards the tail end of last season. A whole lot of players were injured. But that was the time they needed to dig deep and bring out the inner success in them. And they were able to eventually qualify for the UEFA Champions League just by a whisker. They could do it, even with all the injuries, players on the treatment table. So what they do there is to feed you information. Communication is very important. We are seeing teams now. Wait, we are seeing teams now in the MPFL who would usually come out and tell you things. Yes, Kwara United, congratulations. They are giving us information. But what I am saying is that they are in a very dicey situation on the log. And they are already telling you, if we play this game and we lose, it's because we have 5 players.
Why do you think that is the reason why they are giving out this information? I choose not to believe that statement, because a certain Chelsea that you just mentioned now, currently they don't have one of their star players in the team, which is Cole Palmer. And at this point in time, the little bit of struggle, which even happened last season. You look at a certain team like Manchester United, once Bruno Fernandes is not in the game, maybe injured, which he rarely goes injured. But once he's injured, they don't perform properly. When they give us that information, we see the struggle. So why do you have this thought process of they're giving us this information to let us know that they're in the 14th log of the table, so if we don't win, this is the reason?
That's the trend. If you monitor the NPFL, at least if you do that in the last 10 years, you would know that there usually used to be a trend. And one thing I said about how the league has evolved is the fact that you are beginning to see a change, a shift in how we used to think. I think there's an African or Nigerian mentality when it comes to football. We have not been able to sort some things out, and we are beginning to do it. You see, when you look at Kwara United, if you check the squad strength, there are about 40 players, right? And if 5 players are injured, they still have the likes of Wasiu Jimo in the team, and he's their top striker so far this season, and he's doing excellently well. He's still in the team. He's not injured. At least he's not one of the players you mentioned. So I'm saying that for every position there should be a replacement, and I think that is why they recruited that much. Take for Bendel Insurance, Eyimba also brought in 22 players. For the first time, I'm looking at their list, I'm like, oh, what exactly are you doing? Even for Shooting Stars in Ibadan, they have a number of players in that team that have not even played at all. If you saw them, the first game of the season,
we did.
You
we
saw
some players hanging around.
They were over 40.
Yeah,
they were over 40. Some were even sitting at the press tribune. So it shows, and
Even
some were
after the game,
sitting
they
at
were
the other side.
They were even outside, yeah.
Quite a number of players. And you begin to ask, how many of these players will play at a time? Yes, it is important to have backup players. Well, when the squad is too large, it becomes a problem for the coach. Now, what I'm trying to say, my own point generally is that you have too many players in that team. You are used to some certain set of players, and 5 of them are injured. Why not think of, these ones that are not playing, why are they in the team? Is it not to play? So bring out of those
options
the remaining players who are not playing, and then make them an option. Then put them to good use. It might even be better than those who are already in the starting level.
All right, let's see how Kwara United can go with this one to pick up a victory, or maybe get 1 point right there in match day 9. We'll be back on Monday to discuss that, and I hope Kwara United can give me the hope to be able to talk with Samson here on Monday. We'll be back with that. Let's move away from that. Let's look at the Flamingos. Nigeria under-17 girls wrapped up their preparations for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup with a 3-2 win over Paraguay in Casablanca. Nigeria Under-17 women defeated Paraguay Under-17 3-2. They also had another one against New Zealand Under-17, and they lost that one 4-3. The Flamingos will face Canada in their Group D opening game on October 19 by 8 p.m. There you have it. And let me start off with Fola. Fantastic run already towards the preparation for the big game against Canada. We had the defeat to New Zealand. We won against Paraguay. It looks like attacking-wise, we can score goals. Yes. We had 3 goals against Paraguay. We had 3 goals against New Zealand. But defensively, we have considered 6 goals in the friendly. How do you see the Flamingos, play the system, pan out against Canada when it comes to October 19 by 8 p.m.?
You see, our girl, like I always say, our female teams, a lot of times they don't disappoint.
I agree.
Yeah. So they are showing that they won't disappoint in this, but we need to work on our defense.
I agree.
Defense, we need to work on it because we don't need to concede goals. We don't have to concede goals. We shouldn't be conceding goals. We should our defense should be tight. And what's it called? When it comes to going for the World Cup,
yeah.
I feel our girls are prepared.
They're prepared.
They're prepared, but they should also work on the defense.
Okay. I'm going to ask something for you. These girls, are they ready to conquer the world right there in the World Cup?
Well, as it stands, according to what's on paper, they are ready. But technically, I don't think they are. I think there is a shift in how they play. They played in Ibadan. They were able to concede, to seal the back line, score beautiful goals, and of course, it was a clean sheet. And then if you look at their qualification series, they have done an excellent job. Some of these players are doing really fine. I mean, individually, they are quality players, from the striker to defense. I mean, it tells you what the selection process looks like. Now, I think the coach is trying to be more expressive. Maybe this is a test run, due to the fact that they are playing friendly games. He wants to be expressive and see if his team opens up and play more extravagant football. Probably there will be a change in their style.
And playing European teams also.
Playing against European teams who would be playing the same style with them. So let's see what will happen with these friendly games. But then I think they should go back to what they are used to. Otherwise, there will be a crisis at the World Cup. They might just crash out at the group level. And they are known to be at least, really good when it comes to female competition.
I agree,
We usually get it right in that area. And I don't think this is a time for them to do trial and error, where they will start doing a test run with a team that has qualified for the World Cup. If you wanted to do test run, you should have done it during the qualifying series. You would have seen reasons to drop a certain player or play a certain player in a different position. All that, is at the back now, is behind. So now is the time for them to stick with the game plan. Yes, it is understandable that for every team you play, there are likelihood of, you switching from one tactical approach to the other. And of course, the technical, know-how also has to come to play. But I don't think he should start, testing some things now. This is the time for the players to be strong mentally and, stick to their own ideology, have a defined style of play, and how to execute each game as they come. So he should not, you know, do any form of test run. Let's just keep to the style. We saw them play in Ibadan, and everyone applauded them. So why travel and then start considering shipping in goals? So it means that there's a change, or probably it was rotating the team during the friendly. So that might not be his original starting 11.
True.
So until the competition comes, then we'll see. But then he knows what his starting 11 looks like. So tweaking and changing some things in the team, this is not the time. I mean,
so I want to ask, do you think you know, a playing European team this late would affect you know, the Flamingos going into? Would you prefer us play them quite early to understand how they play, or you know, now playing them now, does it still change anything going into the competition and facing Canada first?
You see, it's definitely going to have an impact on how they play, especially on their psychology. That's where they have psychologists in the team. Yes, you are shipping in goals, doesn't mean you are bad as a team. And these are the things you have to do. So someone will psych them up and say, look, this is what you have to do. But I think friendly games are meant to come just before the tournament. And that's what they are doing. I mean, you test your mind to see where you are good at, you see where the errors are coming from, and then you quickly put an end to that. You nip it in the bud before the competition proper. And I know that the coach is Coach Biodun. I know the coach knows exactly what to do at this point. He has seen it all. I think he has the skeletal framework of his team. He knows where to patch things up before it becomes a problem. So going into that game against Canada, he has seen how the Europeans play. He has seen how the South and North American teams play. So now it's for him to implement that in his game without totally erasing what his players know about what is already in their head. So it's just a little bit of touches, and then they will be fine.
They'll be fine. All right, we hope for the very best for the Flamingos as they head straight into the first game on the 19th of October against Canada. So let's keep the flag flying for the Flamingos to see how far they can go in this competition. Let's move away from that. Let's talk badminton. Team Nigeria strike gold twice at the 2025 ANOCA Zone 3 games. Team Nigeria delivered a stellar game performance right there at the 2025 ANOCA game Zone 3 games on Wednesday, clinching 2 gold medals in men and women double. A badminton event, highlighting the country's growing dominance in sport across all regions. And I know what Samson and Fola, you know, always talk about is how good Nigeria, you know, with other sports. You talk about tennis, you talk about table tennis, you talk about, now we're talking badminton, talk about weightlifting. There we have it, clinching gold. In the men double, a Nigeria pair of Joseph Abel and Shewa Liu showcased tactical precision and athletic superiority, cruising through the tournament without dropping a single game. The campaign included a 2-flawless, 2-love victory in the round of 16 and a 2-love triumph over Benin Republic in quarterfinals. I saw Benin Republic and I'm wondering, it's toe-to-toe this year with Benin Republic.
There's nothing you can do about that. We are neighbors.
All right, yes, we are neighbors actually. Also with Benin Republic, in the quarterfinal, a similar 2-love result against Burkina Faso. Talking about Burkina Faso, something we're going to come to that because there are reports already from their you know, president and also their player asking, you know, how did Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, get ahead of? They want evidence, they want clarity on how, and I'm sure, you know, CAF should be able to respond to them properly, so we don't have issues, you know, back and forth with situations like this. But I know we're going to talk about that before I wrap up the show. Also, Burkina Faso in the semi-final and a final masterclass against Togo sealed again a 2-love scoreline. The women's double mirrored the success of the male counterpart with Dorcas Adeshokon, Deborah Uchechukwu commanding every match from start to finish. The duo swept past Togo and Burkina Faso on their way to the final, while the comfortable dispatched Benin Republic in straight set. Head coach Ismail Mohamed praised the players for their composure and consistency, noting that the competition provided valuable match experience ahead of the upcoming international qualifiers and tournament. And I quote, the tournament has given our athletes a critical exposure and competition time. This is essential, keeping them sharp and ready for the challenges ahead. He said Team Nigeria would aim to build on Wednesday momentum as the badminton event continue on Thursday with men's singles and women's singles, mixed double, and the men's women's team event still to come. There you have it, Samson and Fola. We're doing great already at Anuka Zone 3 competition, and it's fantastic, for our athlete right here.
You see, it's I've always said that it's something we can always do.
Yeah.
It's something we can pull off. Just that most times the political will and the technical know-how to get things done usually goes missing. You know, when we talk about sports development in all our ramifications in the country. You know, I usually ask a question about what's the plan of the government for some of these sports. We have seen stadiums being built around the country. We know Nest of Champions, we know the Kansalami, we know what's the other stadium right there. I want to remember. And some other places in the country, Samuel Mudia Stadium and the likes across Nigeria. These are places where you can do outdoor sports, especially football. Also, in some places, you have rooms for some indoor sports. But are there facilities in these places? Do we have room for all sports in these places? So those are the questions we should ask. But unfortunately, some of them really have to source for places to train and then get things done. Even at that, as they have been shortchanged in terms of facilities, they still find a way to put Nigeria's name on the map. Now, what next for a government that knows exactly what it's doing is to encourage. Yes, you are doing fine now. What exactly can we do for you to get better? Oh, we need facilities. Oh, we need sponsorship. Oh, we need this. Oh, we need that. But nobody asks this question. So I will not be surprised if after these back-to-back successes for badminton, and then for the next few years, everything goes blue. So I will not be surprised. We have seen it happen in some places too. And you know, it's for me, it's becoming a generational thing. It happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the millennium came, and then we are still in the same. We are still in the same cycle. So it's becoming a problem. And when the problem is a problem, what do? You take notes. Oh, there's a problem. Then you take charge of the problem. Yes, you already know you have a problem. You are providing solutions to it. And then once you know this is the solution, then you take charge, you take care of the problem. So it's in three phases. You take notes, you take charge, and most definitely, lastly, you take care. But unfortunately in Nigeria, we always take notes. We do not take charge, nor do we take care. We know where these problems are coming from. We know what the crisis is in the sporting sector. But have we decided to take a step? Yes, we organize symposiums, meetings, and the likes. Just to take charge of the problem. Even if we tried as little as possible to take charge, do we usually take care of these problems? These problems always come back, maybe the next year or the year after. So I congratulate them, they are doing really fine. And I do hope that the government is saying what they are doing.
Yeah, that's my question. I wanted to ask that question. Do we have people monitoring and giving feedback to all the sport that we are involved in this year to say, okay, this is where we are at this point, this is what we achieved. Then we go back again to look at, so how do we not develop better to keep achieving success?
That's the most unfortunate thing that happens in Nigeria.
There's no information
you
for
the people like us, we tend to source for information from unlikely situations or from unlikely places. Let me cite an instance. For every ministries, MDAs, parastatals you see out there, they always have someone you call an IHO, information officer. So what do? They have practically integrated themselves into the civil service. Yes, they are civil servants too, but they have been embedded into the civil service that they have forgotten the responsibility of their office, which is to put information out there. How many of these IOs have personal Instagram, Facebook, Twitter accounts where information can be put out there? Most of them don't even have 500 friends on Facebook. Go and check, and they are IOs. So what are you doing? You have no influence, you have no platform. What exactly are you doing as an IO? And even if you don't have it, write your ministry, create a budget for media, and then you begin to feed people with information and say, oh, we are using 5 media houses because of this story. We are paying you so amount to get these stories out there. That means you are doing your job. So some of them they don't even know how to write a letter to the ministry and say, look, we have to publicize what we are doing. Some of them are doing their job, but they have been incapacitated in one way or the other. Unfortunately, if there is no information, there is no way anyone will know how well you are performing. But for high hosts in all these ministries, I'm hoping someday they will be called out big time on all social media platforms, especially platforms like this. Look, what exactly are you doing? Because how would I want to talk about badminton and I'm going to some WhatsApp groups to get info?
And I'm struggling to get info.
And it will be an eyewitness that posted that will be supplying us with information. What is your job as an IO? Take, for example, Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan as a media officer. Back to back, you will find information on that page. That's his job. He has nothing else he's doing. So for the Badminton Federation, how often do you see information? Okay, do you know their social media handle? I don't think you do. Okay, well,
I'm just about to ask me. That's about to ask me, how did I get this information?
That's the problem.
You were the one that made me
yes,
I'm telling you.
I know you're about to ask me, how did I get this information?
That's the problem. So we usually see, as the competition is going on, someone should be there putting info out there. I can tell for a fact that what is happening at that competition as you speak is being underreported. Why? Because the people who should be doing the job will not be there. They did not even call any media house to come and report. Someone will just be typing and we expect to move forward from here. I don't think so. So when you asked me the question of if the government is saying what is going on, I was about to ask you who is reporting it to the government.
The government,
All right, guys. One thing we do, I say it every day on the show, is we are a tool to propel change in Nigerian sport, and we hope for the very best, and we hope these people are getting this information and they move forward with it. Congratulations to our athlete right here in Anuka Zone 3 competition. More success to come. Let's move away from that and let's talk the CAF Champions League second preliminary round, where the Black Bulls of Mozambique are going to welcome Rivers United, and Remo Stars, defending champions of the MPFL, are going to play one of the big guns, Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, right there at the MK Abiola Stadium. Fantastic one already. Rivers United are already down there in Mozambique, getting ready for this game. Let me just start off with something, and I'm going to come to Fola quickly. How ready are this team? Look at Remo Stars this season in the MPFL. Massive struggle, and you speak about them this season saying, it looks like they don't know how to shape the system when it comes to the MPFL and the CAF Champions League stage. And then we have it again. They have a big one against Mamelodi Sundowns. Look at their form this season. It's not fantastic in the MPFL. They lost last week. But in the CAF Champions League, a good run of form, but there they have it. They are facing a big test. How can they navigate this one through against Mamelodi Sundowns?
Well, I think it's going to be a very hard nut for them to crack. Sundowns are arguably one of the best teams when we talk about CAF competitions in the country. I mean, you want to talk about Mamelodi Sundowns, Al-Ahly of Egypt, Orlando Pirates, and I mean,
those are the giants when it comes to Africa.
FAR Rabat in Morocco and the host of others. So there are teams where when you talk about them, these are the big guns when you talk about continental football in Africa. Yes, unfortunately, as we speak, Remo Stars do not rank in that position. I mean, if you want to talk about teams that really made names in that competition, we want to be talking about Eyimba Football Club of Aba. Maybe sometimes, I can't put Rivers United because each time they go, they usually crash out at the very early stage. You might just want to mention Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan too. At the point, they really did excellently well in that competition. But that does not mean when they go there today, they are going to perform. It's been a long time. I mean, the margin, the time frame is, totally different. What happened then is not the situation now. So the fans will have to adapt. Even if they qualify, they will have to adapt to the current situation. But for Remo Stars, they have struggled in the league this season. They are somewhere in the mid-table with some games in hand. Mamelodi Sundowns are not doing badly in their whole league. So it's a clash between two teams of different forms. So if Remo Stars are to win this, I think they have to put their best legs forward. And I want to believe that they had a challenge. They had a challenge during the week when they had to play. Probably they had to rotate the team just because
maybe ahead of this one.
Ahead of this particular one. I want to believe that's what happened because And Remo Stars, I know, would not lose 3-1 in such a game. But unfortunately, it did happen. Now, let's see what the coach has learned from the crisis they have seen this season. Because I think I mentioned this earlier that, look, I think there is a challenge with some African teams, especially Nigerian teams, when they qualify for continental competitions, they usually do not know how to manage the situation. You know, it's for a Chelsea, for example, when Chelsea plays in the league, they know we are playing a team that knows how we play. This is the Premier League. They know the league is different. And when you play in the UEFA Champions League, they are usually extra prepared. Because they know they are playing against a team that is playing something from a different league and plays a totally different way. So you see that even in the build-up, you see a difference. Even for you, who you'll be watching the game, there's a difference in how you view the game. And I think that is the same mentality we should adopt here. Going into that game against Mamelodi, I'm not saying they cannot defeat Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, you know, no team is
no team.
So it's for me, I think it's a challenge they have to surmount, and Remo Stars can actually do it.
And with the fans backing
on
Sunday.
Unfortunately, they won't be playing at Remo.
They will
be playing in MK Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. So will it be easy for them to bring down their fans down to Abeokuta? I don't think so. Will the Abeokuta people come out in their numbers to support Remo Stars? I am not too sure. But one thing is certain, you know, when good football is being played, there's nothing you can do about it. Even the ref can only do so little when they want to influence games. And I don't think any influence comes into this game. You play as capable as you are. And then by the end of 90 minutes, people can now decide, oh, this is the best team. In fact, the scoreline will decide that, not the people. You can play from now till tomorrow. As long as you are not getting the goals, you will eventually end up on the losing side. So the reason I said that is that if Remo Stars knows what's good for them, start on the front foot, get the first goal, get the second if it is possible, and then maybe see the game off. But if you decide to contain Mamelodi Sundowns on your own turf and they get the first goal, don't forget this is still Africa. The way goal rules still count. So that might be a challenge for you. So as much as possible, the best form of defense is to attack. So keep the ball. Once you have the ball, and you have not conceded, you have a chance of winning. And once that is done, I think they need to score as many goals as possible, because when they travel to Sundowns in South Africa, the Vuvuzelas will not let you rest, and they might just have an issue. So you have to be prepared for that. But for me, I'm tipping Remo Stars, even if it is just by goal margin. I think they'll
all right, Fala, let's talk about Coach Finidi George and his boys are going away to Mozambique to face the Black Bulls by 2 p.m. on Saturday. Are they prepared and ready to face another African giant when it comes to African football, the Black Bulls of Mozambique? How far do you think Remo stands? Because right now, you look at the pictures, the players are already arriving right there. They had to move out yesterday, and now they're preparing already for this one on Saturday. How do you see Rivers United against the Black Bulls of Mozambique?
You know, a lot of times Rivers United, yes, they entered the Champions League, but at the end of the day, they crash out, you know, very early in the Champions League. They don't impress us a lot of times. So are they prepared? I really doubt it. Rivers United, I'm not sure. But hopefully, you know, being a patriotic Nigerian that I am, let me put it that way, I would just say, okay, let's just say as they're going to Zambia.
Yeah, no, actually Mozambique.
As they're going to Mozambique, well, that giant of Africa mentality will enter their head and they will impress us. But you know, they cannot just say that let's go as giants of Africa and let's go and try what we can do, because they are going to visit. So the home team
would also be ready.
Will be ready for them and will not give them any chance to just say, okay, let's just give them a chance so that they should prepare. But I doubt it.
Let's have the pictures of the players, you know, already arriving Mozambique at this point in time. There you have it. Rivers United players already set to do battle against Black Bulls. I just want to ask something quickly. For you, what is your predictions for this game? Do you see Rivers United edging out away from home against the Black Bulls of Mozambique?
I'm not too confident about their victory, but one thing I'm sure of is that you know, by the end of the game they'll be in more convenient position to qualify for the next round. You know, they are playing away from home. I mean, it's always good when you play away from home for your first game. You already know exactly what you know, what it looks like, what they are capable of doing, especially when you are able to keep it tight at the back and you didn't concede that much. And then when you come back home, you can complement on that, and then you can move to the next phase. So, for me, yes, there is a chance they might win, depending on the opponent they are playing. We can't be too sure about how strong, you know, these Mozambican teams are. Yeah. But at this time, I feel Remo Stars have some quality players in the team.
Rivers
United rather. Yeah. They have some quality players in the team. Coach Chimidi George doing what he's capable of doing, and they have not been really too bad in the league this season. What really happened that they are not really there is because they still have you know, some engagements and
that's true.
Going into this game, I see them winning, actually. Might be so tight, might be so close, but then I see them winning and putting them in a pole position to qualify for the next phase.
All right, we hope that Rivers United and also Remo Stars can pick up victory at the second preliminary round of the CAF Champions League. So make sure you keep rooting for them this weekend, and also drop your predictions for that one. Do you think they can defeat Mamelodi Sundowns? That's for Remo Stars, and also for Rivers United away from home to Black Bulls of Mozambique. Can they also defeat them away from home? Let's know what you think in the comment section. Let's move away from that and let's talk the under-20 World Cup in Chile, where Morocco this year have been doing something beyond normal in the world of sport. I think we just need to applaud them this year. It's fantastic for Morocco. You know, you talk about top-notch facilities, hosting competitions. You talk about the women football. You talk about the 8th grade football, under 17, under 20. You talk about the CHAN. You talk about the big boys. You know, doing something fantastic already, qualified already. So it's a big one. I think something would say something about projects, and I think they maintain that project structure and it's taking them this far. And there you have it. They defeated France 1-1 and went to penalty shootout and they hedged that one through, nicking this one through for the first time to see them at the under-20 World Cup. They've been breaking records. I remember what they did again in the World Cup last year. Last time out there, they had that one fantastic knocking out Portugal, getting to the semi-final stage. Fantastic one for Morocco. And there you have it. Samson Balogun. Let's talk about Morocco this year, and also this team edging straight to the final. Also, we had Argentina also knocking out Colombia, another South American side, you know, doing battle. So it's fantastic one. There you have it on the screen. Argentina also defeating Colombia 1-0. But Samson, let's talk about Morocco, and we'll look at the chat box for the third place game and also for the final. Morocco for you this year, fantastic, and also these boys did something great.
Absolutely. You know, it's not just about the boys. It's about the management. It's about the government. You know, knowing what is next. I mean, when you have gotten it wrong for so long, all you have to do is to go back to the drawing board and reset. I think Morocco did that. There was a time they were faltering, and then they decided, oh, look, we cannot continue this way. Let's have a project. Senegal did the same thing. There was a time Ivory Coast also had the same. That you know, you saw generations of players coming in, and then they blossomed into. They eventually won a trophy. I mean, Ivory Coast defeated Nigeria and then went ahead to claim. See, it's just like what they say. See, as a country, as a football team, if you don't believe in projects, you are wasting your time, because you cannot attend to long-term projects with short-term fixes. I mean, you are definitely going to have a problem, which is you'll be short-sighted and your achievements will be so limited. And look at what Morocco has done, and you saw the span of you know, the Senegalese team too. I mean, it took them about 5, 6, 7 years, and then when results started coming in, you saw back to back how they were doing fine from the under 17 to the main national team, and they were winning trophies and qualifying for competitions. So that's what it's about. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not ready for that. But for Morocco and some other teams, one thing is certain. You know, when you are playing, especially for some teams, yes, Morocco is in Argentina now. They are through to the final. They are playing against Argentina. I mean, that's one final. That's going to be a cracker, because Morocco is a very good team. The way they play, the way the team is set up, they are frugal in defense. They are very good with attack, and then Argentina are also the same. So let's see who will bend for the other in the final. But I'm tipping Morocco because they do not care about who they are playing, all they want is results, and I think that will work fine for them. And there's something I wanted to say earlier, that when you look at some teams in Africa, one thing they have been able to do is that the government has been so serious that even the team does not go through the qualifying rounds. Now, for South Africa, they have bought qualifications for their teams countless times. They will either host the under-17, under-20. So when they host, they are automatically playing. Saves them all the stress. They are already focused on selecting a competitive team that will play the tournament. For Morocco too, they did that for a lot of times. They are hosting. So they are automatically out of qualifying series. They have qualified. So by hosting, they are buying, the qualification.
Yeah, true.
What that tells you is that, one, they are building an economy with sports. Because immediately you all come to the country,
you're going to spend.
You're going to spend. You're going to spend on every area.
Hotels, feeding, transport,
food, lifestyle,
souvenirs will be sold. They will visit places. That is business. Look at only South Africa can tell how much they made for the 2010 World Cup.
It pushed the league.
That's massive.
It pushed the league.
South Africa more.
I mean, look at the set of players that, the player that scored the first goal for South Africa, that was Sifiwe Shabalala. He wasn't even playing in Europe. So you see that fantastic goal he scored.
That pool took him to Europe.
You can imagine. That's exposure. So how do you do it? By seriousness. One, you build world-class stadium and maintain them, not the one we have in Nigeria. Where a stadium will be built, someone will say, oh, we spent 20 billion and by the end of the day, CAF will say, they will come and say, oh, this is not CAF standard. I mean, if CAF tells you this is not CAF standard, will it be FIFA standard?
Exactly.
And you have spent billions of naira. I don't want to mention the name of the governor of the state. I'm just saying what I want to say. Now, that's the problem.
Oh my goodness.
Look at Nigeria. If we are to host a competition tomorrow, let's bring it to the bare minimum. Under 15 World Cup. Not under 17.
Almost the last time we hosted, a competition, I think that was under 17.
Right.
The Stanley Okoro set and the likes. Okay, go ahead.
So let's leave the under 17. Now it is matured football because professionals at 17, Lamine Yamal was a professional. So let's say they are professionals already, right? So let's do under 15. If Nigeria is to host under 15 World Cup today, mention 5 stadiums in Nigeria that will host the competition.
Adamasuba.
Okay, one. No, you are mentioning. Before FIFA will come and cancel your nomination and say, look, it is not. See, we are just wasting our time. The government is not ready. I mean, one thing the players have been able to do, they have been able to gather themselves and say, look, we are professionals. This is what we want to do for a living. What should the government do in return? Give them a platform. But the platform is not there. How many times have we hosted competitions in Nigeria?
Successfully.
Without skirmishes. One of the reasons they will not even answer you when you put in the bill.
Even the athletics game we in Ogun State, we saw the lapses.
Wait. If you are talking about that one, we have not been able to successfully host the sports festival. Successfully. We saw our athletes were complaining. We saw how coaches were complaining. We saw about states, how they were complaining and the like. That was sports within the country. That their state governments were responsible for their upkeep and well-being.
I saw the casualty losing athletes. And at the end of the day, the government went to pay visit and paid money. So we're wondering, why didn't you fly these people instead of, so you knew that you had this money to consolidate the family, but why didn't you come on? So there's some, Samson, let's just move on. If I allow you to speak about situations like this, it's going to take us so much time. This is the chart already where we have Argentina against Morocco, fantastic one, and we have Colombia against France for the semi-final. It's going to be a big one. We are looking forward to that one, and we hope for the very best to see Morocco pick up the trophy. Earlier on, you saw the chart of the rundown, how far Morocco and Argentina has gone. Just one loss in the competition for Morocco against Mexico. There you have the screen. Thank you, my producer. And also for Argentina, is all win. I'm just going to ask you for your prediction. Something, do you think Morocco can defeat Argentina?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
All right, Fola, for you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Well,
my drag to the last minute of the game, but I think Morocco, they have been able to build a momentum going forward in the competition. One thing they have been able to do is, if you look at how they have proceeded in the competition, the rate with which they conceded goals, it's been One goal, and then you see it drop. It's
actually just it looks like just 5 goals considered.
Just 5 goals
considered. 5 goals considered.
Yes.
You look at Argentina.
If not because of time, we would have loved to check that of Argentina. And then you look at Argentina, 1-0, 2-0, 4-0, 1-0.
It's going to be a tough one.
So they considered 2 goals, and they won all through. So the challenge for Mexico now is to be frugal in defense. Be so tight. Yes, for Morocco is to be tight in defense and then be creative a little bit. Expand the game just like Argentina would do, because if you want to contain them, they are very pacey, very fast on the wings, and then you might pay dearly. So when you are extravagant with your play, then you can score goals as many as possible. So whoever scores first, might likely win the game. What I'm seeing a likelihood of this going into the extra time and then maybe penalties.
All right, let's see how far Morocco can go. Remember, they had, they went through extra time to the penalty spot, a kick, and also getting that victory against France. That's all we can take on the show at this wonderful morning. Friday is going to be a great time to join us on the show. It's Thank God It's Friday edition right here on Dominion Sport. Make sure you're with us. A big thank you to the producer and the crew. Samson, good to have you back. Thank you for joining us. Fola, thank you for joining us every day on the show. We're going to leave you with the highlight between Morocco and France. Enjoy, stay connected. Have a good day.
This is a mouth-watering clash between Morocco and France.